Hi everybody. I've been thinking a bit recently about Pat Condell, and perhaps more importantly than him, his subscribers. Now, people who subscribe to Pat Condell tend to be among the majority of people who tend to troll my channel, who tend to post trollish comments, insults, hatred, basically. Anything like that on my channel, people accusing me of secretly being a Muslim or things like that. That all seems to come from Pat Condell subscribers, and they seem to be the main type of people who post hatred on my channel. They seem to be the main trolls on my channel. What I've noticed about a lot of them, though, is that they are Christian. They're Christian. They're not atheists. Some of them are, but the ones that stick in my mind the most, the ones that are the most prominent and often the most aggressively Islamophobic, tend to be Christian. And this in itself isn't surprising. The fact that there are Christian Islamophobes shouldn't surprise anyone. Most of these Islamophobic groups or political parties, like the EDL, the BNP, the UKIP, they all identify as being Christian, or their leaders seem to consider themselves to be Christian. So it's not that surprising that Christian Islamophobes exist, but it is perhaps surprising that they subscribe to Pat Condell, because Pat Condell, as we all know, is a very aggressively outspoken atheist. He's not just like an apatheist. He's not just someone who's like, religion, not for me. He's someone who's built his whole YouTube career aggressively laying into religion. And I think it's fair to say it's a bit odd that he has some very devout supporters who are Christians. And of course the reason they're subscribed to him is because they share his views of Islam. They share his paranoid, xenophobic view of Islam. They share his hatred of Islam, basically. And I do think that's a fair thing to say about Pat Condell, based on the things, not just on the things he says in his videos, but also the political parties and groups he supports. But I just think, isn't it odd that these people are so much more united by what they hate? They're united by hatred, not by what they love, not by what they think is brilliant, but by what they hate, what they think is terrible, what they seem to want wiped from the face of the earth. That seems to be what's uniting these people so much more. I just think that's a very odd, but perhaps very revealing thing about certain people. For me, for Pat Condell, I think the difference between Pat Condell and his supporters is he's just slightly more intelligent than they are. He sort of knows how to put these things together in a way that superficially sounds intelligent, sounds superficially eloquent to certain people, or charismatic to certain people. Personally, I've never found Pat Condell to be charismatic at all, but that's because I've known quite a few people like him over the years, or perhaps I've known people who would be his subscribers over the years and have very much not liked them, have not agreed with pretty much any of their political views. If you can even call them that, they're not even very, I wouldn't even call them views, which is just bigotries. And as such, that's why I think I straight away, from the word go, didn't really like Pat Condell. I mean, the first video I watched by Pat Condell wasn't saying anything specific about Islam. I think it was the video he has called "Your Faith is a Joke," and he seemed to mainly actually be talking about Christianity in that video. And yeah, I actually sort of agreed with the vast majority of what he said in that video, but I still didn't like him. I just didn't like his tone. I didn't like his delivery. It just came across as him being a grumpy old git, basically. He didn't seem to be someone trying to help religious people come out of religion and embrace reason, nor did he seem to be trying to propose anything constructive that atheists could do. He just seemed to be expressing his hatred for not just the religion, I think, but for the religious. I think the idea of Pat Condell being someone who hates the belief but not the believer, it doesn't really work, I'm afraid. Having watched his videos, that's not the impression I get. He seems to hate the believers, more so certainly with Islam than with Christianity. But that was something I've been thinking about a while, because I've had a couple of idiots recently trolling one of my old videos about Pat Condell. one of them has now been blocked, largely because he was actually praising the Christians in Western Central Africa, who are currently slaughtering Muslims. They're ethnically cleansing the area, including obviously children, very young children. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if you condone the killing of Christian children or Muslim children, children of any faith or children of no faith, you are undisputably absolute scum. I have no time for you whatsoever, and I know I am not going to entertain your stupid comments on my video any longer, which is why that person has earned themselves the honour of being blocked by me, because I hate free speech, because I'm secretly an Islamo-fascist, yeah, or just because I'm tired of your nonsense. To be fair to myself, I've given this person plenty of time to say something coherent, and they haven't said anything. All they've done is fill out the usual foaming at the mouth, paranoid, Islamophobic nonsense. And enough's enough. And there's another person currently commenting there as well who is about to earn themselves. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up blocking them as well. So that's what I was thinking about. So yeah, I did say as well I'm going to be promoting Amnesty International a bit more with my videos, and this is perhaps quite fitting because they are currently, Amnesty International are currently collecting donations for humanitarian aid to help the people of Central African Republic. So yes, so if you'd like to support Amnesty International, I'll put a link below in the description. I've always said this, that I don't work for them. I'm simply a civilian supporter of them, so no, I'm not being paid by them or anything to put these adverts in. Okay, let me know what you think, everybody. Goodbye.